Okay.
I hope I made some sense.
You're making a lot of sense, and I'm hoping I'm going to pick up what you're putting down, and this is going to be helpful for everybody on this call, whether you're helping financial advisors or not, because I'm going to walk you through how my brain works and how the how the thought process works. Okay? You essentially just laid out your insight. The problem is you laid it out as what? You laid it out as a sales pitch. What we need to do is flip it on its head. Okay? We know the outcome. The outcome is this. The outcome, and I could be wrong a little bit, you can correct me if I'm wrong, or you can play around with the insight later, however you want to do it, Mike. But the outcome is, if they're able to partner with you, they're going to spend more time working on their business, being able to capture clients, being able to do their business, all the stuff that they have visualized, instead of in their business, having to either hire people to do this on the front end, doing it themselves, this nightmare disaster that ends up happening, especially when you hop from office to office. They give you the back end, but there's nobody there to answer the phones. There's nobody there in the middle point to do invoices. You're having to do all that stuff, right? So how do we turn that into an insight? Here's how we turn that into an insight. We figure out how to tell a story that starts with, there is something that every financial advisor that's at kind of that precipice of just getting off the ground, they're getting running, and they're ready to take things to the next level. There is something that every advisor that wants to take things to the next level is having to deal with, and nobody is talking about it, and I just wanted to make sure you were aware of it. Okay? So that's one way to bring it up. Now the nice thing is when I bring this story up, which by the way, you just brought up a great story. I thought you were very articulate on it. The reason why that meets all of the Matt Easton and Easton University check marks is if Juvens was a financial advisor, okay, and you told Juvens that story, he's going to be better off for hearing it. If you tell Juvens a sales pitch, he's not going to be better off. Let me tell you the difference. Here's the difference. Hey, Juvens, there's something going on that every financial advisor that's been around for a few years and is getting ready to take things to the next level, or has hopped to a new firm, is having to deal with, nobody's talking about it. I wanted to make sure you're aware of it. Okay? And I'm not going to go into the insight completely, but it's going to be around, here's what nobody talks about is the middle office and the front office. Everybody talks about back office, but then you're sitting there and you don't have somebody to answer the phone. You don't have somebody to do this, blah, blah. Juvens is now better off and can walk away from that conversation and go, dude, I'm not going to go with Mike, but hell, he brings up a really good point, and there's a couple blind spots there that we either need to put more resources on or resources altogether. And I'm cool with that, Mike, if they don't go with you. Because guess what? They're probably going to come back with you later when they try and figure this out on their own. If you just say, hey, I have a way for you to get front office and middle office, they're going to be like, we're all good. We don't have that problem. Because Juvens doesn't know what he doesn't know, and he doesn't know he has the problem. So a good way to bring that up is there's something that every advisors having to deal with, nobody's talking about it. And then bring up that they're caught in this quagmire of front office and middle office. Another way you could spark that invoice is, and we talked about this and it's on the new course, right? There's a little secret. There's another one. If that one, and you could split test all these opening lines. But let's say you call and nobody calls you back on the thing that everybody's having to deal with and nobody's talking about. Try this one. Hey, Rick, there's a little secret that the top advisors, that they're kind of all just sharing amongst themselves, that I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of with your practice. I'm on my direct line. Yeah, what's this secret? He's going to expect a sales pitch. Don't give into it. Don't give him a sales pitch. Here's the little secret. Okay, as they're planning their iterations of their legacy of their office, maybe they've hopped from one Merrill to another Merrill. They're planning their growth trajectory. The little secret that they're all sharing, because I work with a huge percentage of them, the little secret that they're sharing amongst themselves is, hey, when you get your office to this point and you're ready to go to 4 million, back office is super easy. There's going to be people lined up to want to support you in the back office. Here's where you're going to be in no man's land, and you're going to be like, hello, 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 and there's going to be crickets with no help. Front office and mid office, right? Make sure that you have that under control, or else you get stuck in literally quicksand of back office is set up, you spend a ton on marketing, you're like, hey, we're ready to grow from 4 million AUM to 40 million, and you can't even survive. You can't even maintain 4 because now with the new iteration of the office, you're inundated with phone calls, report requests, right? And then the third piece of the insight. So I got you with the hook, and then I gave you something that was valuable, and then you can just simply and gracefully, if it was Juvens, how are you dealing with that? You know, and then let Juvens go, well, I wasn't even aware of it. Right? Well, because of the fact he said you weren't aware of it, by the way, don't feel bad. Nobody's aware of this, right? This is a little secret that this is the stuff that it's like having a dad that played quarterback in the NFL, right? Those kids get that, hey, son, they're telling their kids at 9 years old, do you see that defensive back? Don't feel bad that you don't know this, right? It takes 20 years to figure this stuff out. Because of the fact that you would say, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to just walk you through a plan. This would be helpful for you, whether you chose us to do this or not. Full disclosure, this is what we do. We do it all day, every day for advisors just like you. We make sure that not only your back office is set up, but more importantly, that front and mid office. Because if we don't have all of that in place, you are going to get stuck doing the things that you hate to do. And more importantly, and even if you didn't hate doing it, there's just not enough time in the day for you to go from 4 million in assets to, just out of curiosity, where did you guys want to go, right? Hopefully I've asked that before, but now I have the checkpoint. So those are the 3 pieces of an insight, right? It's useful to them whether they do business with you or not. It starts with a hook. That might sound something like a little secret. There's an insider tip. There's something that every advisor's having to deal with, nobody's talking about. And then it ends with, how are you dealing with that? And while all of that is going on, you talk about nothing that you do in that. There is no sales pitch in there. You are, as we say in the portal, this is your solution. You're sitting on it, okay? And by the way, you don't have to sit on it for a month. You're just sitting on it for like 3 minutes. Right? And then, because if I start the 3-minute call with Juvens and go, hey, Juvens, congratulations, man. I saw you went from one branch of Merrill to the other one. That's awesome. I'm connected with you on LinkedIn. Man, dude, awesome with the growth. Hey, I'd love to help you with your middle office and your front office. I'm all set, pal. Take me off your list. Right? But if I just sit on that and he goes, man, I didn't even really think about that. Right? I mean, my partner's going to handle that stuff. Can you shoot me over to, some stuff about what you guys have? Now you're having a much better conversation. But that's where you have to play with those insights. The new course, when it gets there, is going to help you with that a little bit more. But I think you think you're a lot further away from that insight than you are. You're right there because you understand your business. You just have to position it in a way that almost like at a cocktail party or a camping trip. Like if you were not going to sell me and I just happened to be, I met you on the trail when we were camping and you're like, I'm a financial advisor and you are retired. You're never going to sell your stuff. How would you talk to me? You would talk to me in a way that was like, dude, there is something like here. Let me tell you, young Jedi here, I'm not planning out of coming out of these mountains, okay? Because I worked real hard to be in these mountains and I'm going to hunt freaking gazelle and live off the land. But if I was to leave these mountains and go back to Manhattan and start over as an advisor, this is the one thing that I would want to know, right? And talk to him that way. Hey, if you like this video and you want to learn how to close, boom, I'm going to cover the $299 cost for you, to get the closing mini masterclass for free. You're going to learn how to step-by-step close anyone on anything, anytime. I'm picking up the cost. It's free to you. Click the link in my bio. I'm only going to do it for a few of you, so hopefully you're one of them. Click the link in my bio right now.